Voice only copy this for tets. Would Earth miss us, or would it quietly throw the weirdest party in planetary history? Imagine tomorrow morning every human is gone, not exploded. Not zapped by aliens, not dramatically running away from giant space hamsters, just gone. The alarm clocks keep screaming, but nobody slaps them. Coffee machines wait for instructions that never come. Elevators sit there, emotionally unemployed. Cars remain stuck in traffic jams with no drivers, which is honestly not that different from some Monday mornings for the first few hours. Earth does not look like the end of the world. It looks paused. A half-made sandwich sits on a kitchen counter. A laptop stays open. A shower keeps dripping. Somewhere, a vacuum cleaner sits in a closet. Finally defeated forever. Dogs bark at empty rooms. Cats look around and immediately assume the legal transfer of planetary ownership has begun. And for a little while, nothing huge happens. That is the strange part. The apocalypse, at least at first, is quiet. Then the first big change begins. The lights start to go out. Modern civilization looks solid, but it is actually very needy. It is not a mountain. It is more like a nervous sandwich held together by wires, pumps, fuel, passwords, schedules, and people pretending they understand the printer, without humans. Power plants begin shutting down. Some systems fail safely, some fail badly, some simply run out of fuel, attention, or maintenance. The electric glow that once covered cities begins to shrink. Block by block, building by building, neighborhood by neighborhood, and then night returns. Real night. For thousands of years, humans pushed darkness away. We filled it with streetlights. Headlights, stadiums, airport runways, glowing screens, neon signs, and tiny rectangles that told us someone liked a photo of our lunch. After us, the darkness comes back. Stars appear above cities that forgot they had a sky. That sounds peaceful, maybe even beautiful. But Earth does not heal in one dramatic movie scene. Nature does not kick open the door wearing sunglasses and say, "I'll take it from here." Nature starts small. A blade of grass pushes through a crack in the road. Moss appears on a wall. Seeds ride the wind into parking lots. Rainwater gathers in subway tunnels. Tiny roots enter tiny cracks. And then slowly do what roots have always done best. Act innocent while destroying architecture. At first, nothing looks powerful. A little weed does not seem like a threat to concrete. But concrete is patient, and plants are more patient. That is not a fair fight. Within months, some cities sound different. Less engine noise, more insects, less construction. More birds, less traffic, more wind. The soundtrack of civilization changes from beep, honk, drill, siren to chirp, buzz, splash, mysterious raccoon activity, and the animals notice. Pets face the hardest situation. Many dogs depend on humans for food, doors, medicine, and emotional support during thunderstorms and vacuum cleaner attacks. Some survive by forming packs. Some struggle. Some do not make it. Cats may do better in many places because cats are basically tiny dramatic survival machines wearing soft pajamas. Livestock face another problem. Fences, barns, feeding systems, and water systems were built by humans. Without care, many farm animals would struggle, especially those bred to depend heavily on us. But wild animals? Wild animals begin exploring. Deer step into suburbs. Boars wander through shopping districts like confused tourists. Coyotes follow empty roads like nature's weird little commuters. Birds nest in traffic lights. Foxes walk through luxury lobbies and probably judge the furniture. At first, you might think rats and cockroaches win everything. They love our trash. They love our heat. They love our crumbs. They love the fact that humans somehow drop food in places food should never be. But here is the funny twist. Many of them are successful because we are messy. Remove humans, and the free buffet closes. Some rat and cockroach populations may boom briefly, then crash when the garbage stops coming. The apocalypse is not an all-you-can-eat restaurant forever. Even rats eventually receive the tragic message. No more pizza crust under the couch. The planet is not becoming empty. It is changing managers. After a few years, water becomes one of the most powerful artists on Earth. Roofs leak, pipes burst, drainage systems clog, basements flood, subway tunnels fill, freeze and thaw cycles crack pavement. Rain enters places humans worked very hard to keep dry. A skyscraper looks strong, it looks proud, it looks like it could stand forever, but secretly a skyscraper is a giant vertical baby. It needs inspections, it needs pumps, it needs electricity. It needs repairs, it needs people in hard hats walking around saying things like, "That does to sound good." Without maintenance, the city starts to soften. Plants cover sidewalks. Roads buckle. Metal rusts. Wooden houses collapse sooner than stone buildings. Glass falls. Bridges weaken. Coastal cities keep fighting the ocean until they remember the ocean has been practicing for about 4 billion years. The ocean is not in a hurry, that is why it usually wins, but not everything disappears quickly. Plastic lingers, ceramics linger, some stone monuments linger, buried foundations. Tunnels, pipes, landfills, mines, and strange chemical traces may last far longer than our names. Satellites keep circling for a while. Some remain in orbit for years, others fall back through the atmosphere, burning like tiny goodbye sparks from a species that once spent enormous energy making sure everyone could watch cat videos. Radio and television signals keep traveling outward through space, growing weaker and weaker like ghostly postcards from a planet that used to have a lot of opinions. And then there are the dangerous leftovers. Chemical sites, mines, landfills, oil facilities, and some nuclear systems would not politely disappear. Without humans, certain places could leak, burn, flood, or contaminate local environments. So no, the post-human Earth would not instantly become a peaceful deer garden. It would be beautiful, messy, unfair, damaged, alive, and complicated. Basically nature, but with abandoned shopping carts. Over decades, forests spread into many places where humans once pushed them back. In warm, wet regions, green growth may move quickly. In dry regions, recovery may be slow. Deserts do not suddenly turn into jungles just because nobody is checking email anymore. Climate changes already set in motion would not magically reverse overnight. Extinctions caused by humans would not undo themselves like a bad haircut growing out. Some losses would remain losses. This is where the story becomes deeper. When we imagine the apocalypse, we often picture Earth as dead. Empty highways, broken buildings, dusty streets, silence. But that is a very human picture. We mistake the end of our noise for the end of everything. To a fungus, our apocalypse might look like real estate. To a vine, it might look like a climbing opportunity. To a bird, an abandoned stadium might look like a very fancy cliff. To a beaver, an empty suburb might look like poor planning with excellent wood. Life does not need our permission to continue. It needs chances, gaps, water, light, time, and Earth is very, very good at time. After hundreds of years, many human structures are badly damaged or gone. Forests hide roads. Rivers change paths. Animals move through former cities as if those places were always strange, rocky forests. The sharp line between human place and wild place fades after thousands of years. The evidence of us becomes patchy. Some things vanish almost completely. Some remain as geological whispers. Layers of concrete, metal, plastic, chicken bones, and unusual chemicals may tell future scientists. If any ever appear, that one species got extremely busy for a very short time. And maybe that is the real twist. Humans feel permanent because our lives are short. A building that lasts 100 years feels ancient to us. To Earth, that is a sneeze. A loud sneeze, yes. A sneeze with highways, satellites, supermarkets, reality shows, and extremely complicated coffee orders. But still a sneeze. This does not mean humans do not matter. We matter enormously to each other. We matter to the animals we protect or harm. We matter to forests, oceans, climate, rivers, soil, and future life. But we are not the whole story. We are one chapter written in very bold handwriting. The planet after us would not be a clean, happy ending. It would not be revenge. It would not be Earth saying, finally, those weird pants-wearing apes are gone. It would be continuation. Wind would move dust. Rain would feed roots. Roots would split stone. Animals would adapt. Microbes would recycle. Seasons would keep arriving without checking the calendar. And that is both comforting and uncomfortable. Comforting because life is stubborn. Uncomfortable because civilization is fragile. Everything we call normal depends on thousands of quiet systems working every single day. Clean water, power grids, food transport, waste treatment, farming, medicine, roads, ports, repairs, people fixing boring things before they become terrifying things. A city is not just buildings. A city is cooperation frozen into concrete. So maybe the question is not whether Earth would miss us. Earth does not miss in the way humans miss. It does not cry over empty malls or whisper our names to the moon. But the living world would carry our marks for a long time. Some wounds, some gifts, some mysteries, some plastic, some forests we protected, some rivers we hurt, some species we saved. Some very confused raccoons living inside a bank. The bigger question is what kind of trace we want to leave while we are still here. Because after the end, Earth starts over in its own strange way. But before the end, we still get to choose whether our chapter looks like a warning label, a love letter, or a very expensive mess with excellent Wi-Fi. So if humans vanish tomorrow, what do you think Earth would remember longest? Our buildings, our damage, our kindness, or just the fact that we somehow taught dogs to wear sweaters?